Good evening and welcome. It's June 16th, a Monday in the year 2025, and it's a warm welcome to all my regulars and to all my new people. This is all about CPS. We're here to fight CPS and stop taking our children. You heard me right. We're here to fight CPS because so many of you have this really terrible case with what I call the child protection system. Now, I'm glad that you found this live stream. It's broadcast twice a day. I have two different live streams. The evening one, which is on every night at 7 p.m., unless I tell you differently. And then the morning one is on Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. and on the weekend at 8 a.m. Those times are always given in Pacific Standard Time. And so what I want to do is I want to help you with my experience in CPS. Yes, I was a victim in CPS. And I too have struggled. I've been struggling now for 15 years since I've, first encountered CPS back in 2010. How it happened to me was unfortunately in 2010. I lost my job after working 45 years through no fault of my own. And I was trying to get work. Meanwhile, I was being accused wrongly of CPS, my wife and I, of not taking care of our children. And what it was, I found out later, it was my family, not my family, but my wife's family, the in laws, that were calling along with their, it was her mother, her father, her three sisters or brothers would call in once a week and make up false stories. And so I want to say that that's the worst thing or worst nightmare that can happen to you. There's two ways that child neglect and child abuse can be reported, either by mandated reporters, which are your doctors, nurses, school teachers, counselors, and so forth, policemen and firemen. They are mandated by law. It's part of their job. But last year, there was 4.2 million cases of abuse and neglect. 75 of them are neglect and 25 are abuse, 25%. But of the 4,200 cases reported in, 2 million of them were bogus by the professional. Those were by the professional, meaning that they had no credence to them. So that's 50%. So the professionals get it right 50% of the time. The lay people maybe get it right 25% of the time. 75% is their figure, is the lay people. The professionals is 50%. Now, um, oh boy. Um, there we go. I have my screen. Hello, Jennifer Anderson. I remember you from last night. Hey, let me know when I can call in. You can call in right now. Let me put my phone number up. Let me put my phone number up. Right now, you can call in. There's my number, Jennifer. It's 626 698 0990. Right on cue. Evening. You've reached the live stream with Bob Pace fighting CPS to stop taking her children. Who do I have the pleasure of talking to? Jennifer. Jennifer, you were just telling me you're going to call in. I'm glad you did. You came to me last night, I think it was, that you're on my show. So a warm welcome to you, Jennifer. And what part of the world are you from, Jennifer? Oh, from Ohio. I couldn't remember last night, but you're from Ohio. What part of Ohio? Okay, I'm familiar with places like Cincinnati and Cleveland, but that's about as far as I get in Ohio. I don't know if those are close to where you're at, or if that's Southern Ohio or Northern Ohio. Okay, okay, so it must be there's Lake Erie there. So I think Lake Erie, you're to the left of Lake Erie by Putin Bay, or what's that place called? That bay over there. Yeah. Okay, Jennifer. Now, are you the mother of the children or the grandparent of the grandchildren? Okay, so you have how many children? Okay, and what were their ages when they were first involved in CPS? Okay, and it must have been something that the teenagers were doing. Oh, okay, because sometimes teenagers go through troubled times when they're 16 or 15 or 14 or whatever. My daughter was 12 at the time when I was being investigated, so I can imagine. So, what did they accuse you of?
Thing was him go reach behind me and she just knows I just had back surgery, so she was concerned and she didn't know what to do, so she called 911.
Okay.
And but I'm sorry.
I said that, okay, I understand how this all started. My question is there two fathers of the two children or the same father for both children? So there's two different fathers, and then you have a third man in your life, your significant other, correct? Okay. So are the two different fathers involved with child support or helping out or interested in their two children? Okay, you need support. Now what about your significant other? Does he want to help out with the two children? Okay. So when that was called in, where did the children go? You said it went with your significant other or it went with another relative? Oh, okay.
being given to us.
Well, you see, that's the problem with domestic violence in front of children. It's a rule that if you're going to argue in front of the children, that you take a time out and go for a walk and come back and address it when the children are not around. That's the sad part because domestic violence, you know, can really hurt the children. So anyway, um, there's a difference of what she saw and what you thought was happening. So what happened when the CPS, they come that night or come the next day? Okay, before they came out, there was just a call placed to 911 that there was domestic violence. Right. Now, did the police, did you file a restraining order against your significant other? Oh, okay.
The TPS to vacate TPS and let them know the police report was wrong in there.
Oh, okay. So you got an attorney, which is a good thing. We all should get an attorney. So that's for the criminal matter. Now you said that the CPS came out to further investigate when they come out. Okay. Now before you called them right away, did you think about calling an attorney? Okay, because that's what you should have done is call an attorney, somebody that is qualified in juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. Those are three areas of law. And a lot of us don't think about that. I didn't either. But anyway, you had a response, and probably you didn't think about where did they want you to meet them? Do they want to come to your house? Now, did she insist that she had to meet you at your house? Well, that's mistake number two, because you never want to meet at their offices or have them come to your home. And you should have an attorney present because they'll twist things against you. I'm not saying they did, but they will twist things around and use whatever you said against you. Dealing with the CPS at their office is just like Alice in Wonderland. You've fallen in the rabbit hole. You met the Cheshire cat who directs you from room to room, and the rooms are crazy. It's very difficult to navigate the CPS system there, especially in Ohio. Now, um, I'm not blaming you for doing what you did. You had to do what is best. And I made similar mistakes. Since then, I'm telling all my listeners now is you never deal with CPS in your home or their office. You meet at a public place where you can record and videotape everything they talk about, your documentation. Now, that can be done at a library. It can be done at McDonald's or Starbucks. Further, you need to have your attorney present so that your attorney does the answering on your behalf. He or she attorney is trained in juvenile law, family law, and dependency law and knows exactly what to say to the social worker. But apparently, you met with a social worker. You brought your daughter down. So imagine they interviewed your daughter again, and they interviewed you, and made promises that you get your families back if you follow their line of whatever they're doing, or sign some papers, or promise this or promise that. So okay, that was smart because sometimes they like to talk separately. And I'm really surprised they allow you to be present, but you're so smart to say that anytime a child under 18 needs to be in front of their parents. So I'm proud of you. That is a good thing, Jennifer. Now, what further happened? From who? From who? From who do you get a phone call? Okay. Oh, okay. Well, exactly. And you could have said, look, I need to get my attorney present. I'll come back when my attorney's present. If you knew that and you had an attorney present, but go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. And they intercepted you and took your daughter when you signed an emergency card that was sent to school that said the only people that can pick up your daughter are the people on the list. Was CPS on the list? And they did take your daughter, didn't they? Oh, good, good, good.
Being here. She was like, not anymore. Sugar and custody of your thing. And my daughter heard that. So I asked her, I said, where is this order from the judge? I want to see the signature of the judge, this court seal, everything on it. Oh, I have it right here and pointed to her first. I
Yeah,
asked her 3 times for it. She never showed it to me. So I went and consoled my daughter because she's upset. You know, kids are kids. They look up things on YouTube, they see things, and she was scared.
I
So I
don't
got
blame
her
you.
calmed down and waited for about 3 minutes or so after I calmed her down, went back up to the caseworker. I said, I gave you plenty of time to show me this so-called order. I go, and you have not shown it to me. If you don't show it to me right now, I am leaving with my daughter. She
Right.
didn't show it to me, so I told my daughter, let's go. And I got in the car to leave and was heading back home to my house. I called my mom, told her what was going on, and not even 20 minutes, 15 minutes later, she said, two sheriffs are here and CPS is out there. My mom and my brother told them to get off their property, that they had no right to be on the property. Well, the sheriff is like, well, they have an ex parte order. You need to listen to them, what they're about to say to you. And they forced their way into the house after they told them no. And finally, when I get there, this lady saying, well, if you don't do this, we're taking your kids into foster care. So with them doing what they're saying, I don't want my kids to go to no foster care. I'm going to let my mom take care of them. And I had to leave my mom's house.
Yeah,
I wasn't allowed to stay there.
you're right. Understood. Well,
So,
the only mistake you've done so far is not having that attorney with you at all times. The ex parte
Right.
has to be in a writing form. It's called a warrant. It's got to be signed by a judge, and the stamp has got to be stamped on the signature where it raises the signature. It's got to be a wet document, a wet signature. It's got to have the correct date. It has a date other than the regular normal working dates of a week, then it's a bogus warrant. Also, it's got to be explicit of what they can do. So they're trying to use the police to really um, mess you up there. Okay. Right. Right.
The email was recorded everything.
Right. Right. So have you got an attorney yet? Well, that's not the right kind of attorney to get because that is called a court appointed or public defender. They're worthless because they work, right. They work for CPS. They're hired by CPS. They're hoping you would take the attorneys, and so they hope your children will, because once you have an attorney represented, you can't talk in court, and they're going to sit there and railroad you. They don't have the training in juvenile law, family law, or dependency law. They only have a criminal law background. They're good for maybe criminal cases, but they're also case loaded. CPS makes sure they have 30 to 100 cases. They won't have time for your case. They will not fight your case. They're going to do what CPS wants you to do. Right, right. What you need to do to him is kick him in the seat of pants and say, if you don't work for me, I'm going to sue you for neglect, and I'm going to call the state Ohio Capitol. I think that's Columbus. And I'm going to put in a complaint against your bar. I'm going to register a strong complaint and you'll lose your lawyer's license. It does work, by the way. It does work. So if you can't fight for my case or defend me, I don't need you. You can also replace the court appointed attorney. You go to your court, wherever court you're in, that courthouse. You look for the public defender's office. You go in there and say, I want to replace my attorney. He is not defending me. He's doing nothing for me. I need another one. But meanwhile, you need to find a real attorney because you're going to be wasting a lot of time. Oh boy.
CPS for CPS because the order, just signature, anything. The lawyer to read everything and the motion for me. And he just said everything. This is a to the juvenile court myself and put it in so the judge can see it before our hearing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, you definitely that's the way you're doing it right here. Meanwhile, where are your two children? Okay. Aren't you allowed to have aren't you allowed to have supervision even if they're supervised? Aren't you allowed to have supervision? Oh boy. I am so sorry, Jennifer, that that has happened to you. Well, you're smart. Now, did you learn how to look up things using I find the best search engine is Google, not Google Chrome, not DuckGoDuck, not Godzilla, not Microsoft Edge, but the regular typical Google is the best one that's structured. And you need to put in the city, comma, the state, and then you put the letters CPS. Now, all my listeners are from other countries out there because I have 22 countries out there. You need to put your country, then put CPS. And after CPS, you want to describe what you're looking for, so be more specific. And you need to spend 60 to 80 hours on the internet. It takes a lot of work to do it. Yeah, understood. Understood. Well, the retainer for a typical good attorney is about $5,000. That's what the typical retainer is. They're about $500 an hour. Now, in different parts of the state, they may be less. But here, my attorney um, in LA County charges a retainer of 5,000 to start your case, and he's $500 an hour. Now, I'm not sure how long it's going to go or how much it's going to cost. I had to sell my home to hire my attorney. The attorney I'm talking about is Vincent W. Davis. Um, I had my forever home that I had to do a quick sell. So I get an attorney because I was going nowhere with the public defenders, going nowhere with trying to defend it myself by arguing with the director or fighting with the director, going nowhere. Um, yes, as to substituting and getting another court appointed. So the thing I had to do is I found Vincent Davis about a year into my case. He got my two boys back. He was so hard that he caught the social worker um, lying. She committed perjury in court. The sad part was is that she retaliated and she told my wife and me that you're never going to see your daughter again. She meanwhile coached our daughter to emancipate from us parents because at age 12 you can do that. I don't know what it is in Ohio, but in California, you can divorce your family. And I'm not talking just your mom and dad. I'm talking about your brothers and sisters, your siblings, your aunts, your uncles, your cousins, your in laws. All those people are divorced. And then the social worker told her she needs to change her name completely. And so she did that. And then she was told to seal her birth certificate, get a new birth certificate, put uh, the foster parents as her parents, and then get a second social security card and double dip taking my social security retirement. They were doing it twice, and that's illegal because I got additional money because I had children. When you're over a certain age, I'm not sure if it's 62 or whatever it is, you can ask for more of your social security to help you take care of your children. So I had three children, and I was getting additional money to help them. And so, um, when she was taken to foster care, the foster care got my money for the first social security card. She got a second one, and they're getting double of my retirement. That's my money. I earned that. I earned that a long time ago, and I've earned it, over the years. And they were taking that money. They all are about a hog about money. It is $1 trillion business. They send they send billions to the state, and the state sends millions to the county. And it's a lot of money. I never know what $1 trillion is, but it's more money than Elon Musk makes. So it must be a lot of money. $1 trillion sounds to me that is a lot of change, but that's what they make. They're selfish. It's all about money. You cannot trust the social workers. You have to find all the mud on them. You got to find out all the mud on the judges. You have to look up their names and look up their directors and see what things have been filed against them. You need to do a background check on them. The reason why I'm saying this, they're your enemy. They're your enemy. And with anybody that's fighting an enemy, you need to know all about the enemy. You need to know how the social workers work. You get their names, you look up their names, you find the city and the town, and you type in that CPS, and then you type in their name, and you find information on them. You need to find dirt on them. You need to do it actively. And plus, the most important thing, and my rule number one, is hire an attorney. And I know that's the hardest thing to do.
Lucas.
They are really evil. They're doing stuff that's not legal. If you had an attorney right now, that attorney would get you out of that place and put you back in your mom's house. That's wrong. That's wrong. Um, right. I do want to talk about some comments that come in tonight while we're talking. I want to help dress the people that are here. Um, I am talking to Jennifer Anderson from Ohio that has a bad case where her two children were taken and placed in her mom's house. She was booted from her mom's house, and she has limited funds, and she's trying to fight a lot of cases. Now, we have this guy named Michael Dolini. You say you always have an attorney. Well, that's good, Michael. I'm glad that you do. There's a thing called legal insurance you can purchase. That way, you will have an attorney. Michael, I have no idea where you're from. If you could tell me where you're from, that would be great. Then I have Mila Sarini. We witnessed this instant live. You can watch recording footage. All right, she's put on a, a link there. I can't link it because I'm not able to on this live stream. But thank you. I have no idea where you're from. You may be from another country. Please tell me where you're from. That would be great. And then Mrs. Ramirez, the lady of the house. Hello, the lady of the house, and thank you for calling in. Your name is Kelly, and your first time here. Well, I'm glad you're here and welcome. This is a room where people come back twice a day, every day of the week. There's 14 live streams. And Michael says, I can't hear her. Well, I hear her, But then he says, I can hear her now. Okay. And then OPP on Point Playlist says, where do you practice? I don't practice law. I'm not an attorney. I'm a loving father and a husband. I've helped raise 6 children. I care enough about these people that can't afford an attorney. I have 15 years experience of fighting CPS. I know what needs to be done. I've learned a lot from over 2,000 people that have come on here and talked. So I'm a wealth of information. I have learned a lot of life skills. I've been working for 60 years, and I um, am very knowledgeable, and I will solve a problem. Hello, Cruella. Cruella is Felicia. Felicia is from Oxnard, and she's in Ventura County, California. Welcome. She calls me Uncle Bob. Okay, Michael's from St. Louis, Missouri. Thank you, Michael. Okay, he's from St. Louis, Missouri. Welcome, Michael. All right, I've addressed all the people in the room. Now back to you, Jennifer. So what is your game plan now, or how can I help you, or what is your questions?
For CPS lawyers that's in the town, I'm gonna call them, see if maybe one of them can help me out with even payments.
If you word your question right, if you put your city followed by comma by your state, and then you put in the word CPS, and then you put in 3 magical words: juvenile law, family law, and dependency law, attorneys. All of a sudden, in that particular city in Ohio, all these attorneys will appear. Then you look at them. It's very important you get quotes from 3 of them. Now, one of them I'm going to give you a quote right now is Vincent W. Davis. So you already did your homework. Now, he has different rates when he goes out of state. So it's going to be a lot more than you can afford. Like the last quote I gave was Georgia, and he won $125,000 to go to Georgia. That's because he has to pay for his airfare, his ground transportation, his hotel accommodations, and the food he has to eat while he's away from home. Also, he has to have a license. He has to take a test, and he has to get the bar in that particular state. It's too expensive for lawyers to have every 50 state license. That'd be phenomenal. I think it'd be more like $200,000, and it's just too much. So, but I got good news. Because you talked on my live stream, you're going to be rewarded with a free 15-minute consultation with the top CPS attorney in the country, Mr. Davis. He's going to talk to you on Zoom in a private one-on-one conference call about your case. You make a list of important questions. Prioritize the questions, which one you want answered first in case you run out of time. But there you can ask from a legal expert about your case. So all you have to do, would you like that? Okay, all you have to do is text me at the same number you call me, your full name, your email, and your phone number you want them to call you at. So that's really important, those 3 things. And you'll get your chance to talk to Mr. Davis. Now, when you're talking to the other 2 attorneys you're looking for, you want to ask the question, 2 very important questions. Question 1 is, are you a professional licensed juvenile law, family law, dependency lawyer, and have won CPS cases? If the answer is yes, then your question number 2 is, after the case is over, have you ever filed a lawsuit against the CPS system, either in state court or federal court, and won money back? If the answer is yes, then you got yourself a good candidate, not necessarily the one you want to hire, because you still got to check them out further. You need to get 3 references. And you can do the same thing with my attorney. You get 3 references. And these 3 references, you need to check them out before you have a meeting with the attorney you're going to hire, because you got to establish the chemistry. So Um, I know, Michael, that 5,000 is a lot, but that seems to be, if you want the best, the going rate for LA County, California. Now, in Missouri, St. Louis, Missouri, I have no idea how much it would be. Now, Michael further says, oh, he went from St. Louis, Missouri. Now he's in Carson City, Nevada. Okay. I guess you're moving around. I thought you're from St. Louis, Missouri. You told me earlier. Oh, I'm sorry. That's Michael. Okay. Oop is in Carson City, Nevada. Welcome, Oop. And I'm so sorry. Now, help. CPS took a hair follicle test on my 5-year-old son 30 days after removal. There's something wanky about the test. I don't believe it's begged for a second opinion. What you do is always get your own drug test on your own body, either urine, blood, or hair follicle. You can't trust CPS. And I don't know how long at 30 days, I don't know if it will show up. And sometimes there's mistaken drugs out there that will give you a false positive. So you're entitled to a second opinion, and please do so. Oops. Check your medical insurance and arrange it. But they refused. Well, you need your attorney. And if you're using a court appointed attorney, tell the court appointed attorney to do his job, his or her jobs. They cut my son's hair twice in 1 month against my wishes. And you never believe what I found out. Well, what did you find out? CPS refuses to have a medical review officer. The tests are not reviewed, cannot be validated. Is this legal? No. You need to have the test validated. The person that performed the test needs to appear in court and testify under oath that they tested positive and for what drug. They have to. They have to. Again, without an attorney, you're going to struggle. I'm telling everybody in this room, without an attorney, you guys are going to struggle. It's really, really hard. Now, please get that legal insurance. Now, says about the medical review. Yes, you definitely should have that. Will not give me the chain of custody. What do you mean chain of custody? I don't know where your child's at right now. So anyway, going back to you, Jennifer. You still have the call, and it's really a pleasure talking to you. What else do you have for me to ask? Okay.
Target there and put in here. Now, she put in here that I was not, sorry for that. I wasn't, she made multiple attempts to discuss the referral via phone contact, home visit, which each attempt was unsuccessful. Now, as I explained to you, we played phone tag for a month, but for almost about 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Did you document the timeline incident? Did you document all the times you try? It's very important that you document. You have to document because they lie. They lie. They lie.
So, for one of my exhibits, I'm trying to get my phone log from my carrier right now. It should be in any day, so that way the magistrate, the judge, can actually see the timeline that I wasn't just making it up.
Right.
So I think that was everything that I had, but and yeah, that's basically everything they did, and just the way that they lied, and for them to get mad after I stood up after they said they're going to take my kids if I didn't comply with what they're going to say, for me invoking my fifth and telling them I was getting a lawyer, and then how quick they was able to take my kids for no reason.
Yeah.
If she was in immediate danger, they should have took her on May 5th when I came in with my daughter.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
So, and I brought that up to the appointed lawyer, but he's trying to make excuses. He's trying to say, well, they don't have to be in danger. It just has to be substance danger.
No, that's not true at
What
all.
danger?
They cannot take children from the household unless they're in imminent danger. And just because they had domestic violence doesn't place them in imminent danger. And people argue all the time. Um, it's just that a lot of people don't know how to diffuse the argument.
You mentioned would like the judge to see. So
Yeah.
they just do that. Oh. I think that's everything that I can think of. I appreciate everything. Now I just got to get busy on tomorrow trying to find if I can afford a lawyer.
Right.
Now, would you think, I would be able to go pro se on this if I needed to?
Well, you can try to do it pro se, but you'll lose because right now you're losing. Right now, they're railroading you over. Pro se means you're going to do it yourself, but there's no guarantee that you'll know everything.
And then also, I know with a pay order, because that's one side of story. Wouldn't my lawyer or I would be able to put in a motion to be able to hear everything that was said for them to be able to take my kids?
Say that one more time again. I'm trying to understand what you were saying. Say it one more time. Yes. Yes, that's a legal document. You should be entitled to that. Again, you need an attorney. And I'm sorry to keep repeating myself because that is the key. That's the key. Well, don't be a stranger because I want you to know you're part of my family. And a lot of people come back. Felicia or Cruella from Ventura, California, has been on my show for as long as I've been doing this. I've been doing this now for 20 months. I've talked to over 2,000 people. So you'll learn something here and you'll share what you have to other people so you'll help everybody. That's why it's a big family here. We're here to help each other. And so all you need to do is to text me those three things if you want to speak to a real live attorney free, be no charge, 15 minutes with the best of the best attorneys around. So I want you to take advantage of that. And if you talk again, you get another 15 minutes. Some people have actually done 4 talks, so they got an hour with Mr. Davis. Yeah, so I'm here and I will always be here. As I say, I've not missed a show yet. And I really look forward to talking to you again, Jennifer. It's really a pleasure. You sound like a beautiful mother who loves her children and loves her family, who's had, I guess, mistakes with men. And not all relationships are meant out to be, but sounds like you care enough. A lot of parents don't care about their children, especially when they're that old. They say, "Oh, forget it, not worth it. You guys can go on your own way and go into CPS's hands." It's a terrible thing to be in there because they will be trafficking, they will be abused, they will be hurt. Plus, being involved as a foster care child, it'll follow you to your adult life. So when you have kids, they'll track you down. So it's very important you tell your kids when they turn 18 to purge their business in CPS, meaning they need to make sure the record is expunged because as an adult, CPS will track them down. And it's sad, but they do. Yeah. Oop was asked me about a law insurance company. I recommend Progressive. Progressive does car insurances, motorcycle insurances. They do legal insurance. They'll do legal insurance for any of your legal matters. And it's no more different than paying for, it's cheaper than medical insurance and cheaper than car insurance. So get legal insurance because you never know when it's going to happen to you. All right, Jennifer. It sounds like we had a good discussion, and hopefully you'll feel more motivated and very good of yourself. You've done a good job, and the few mistakes you made, I don't think you'll happen again. So get that attorney and tell me again. Come on here again and ask me another question, and I will help you. Okay? Yep, Jennifer. Don't be a stranger. God bless you, and keep fighting for your children. Okay, that was Jennifer Anderson, lovely woman from Ohio. And she's trying to keep her two kids, one who's 12, one who's 15. And she's been wrongly accused because with her significant other, her third man in her life, I guess, or it could be more or whatever, she had domestic violence with him. That's one thing you should never do. You should never do there. Now, I suggested Progressive. I'm not getting a kickback for Progressive, but I am looking at a quote myself. I wish I had legal insurance. It would solve a lot of my legal matters over the years. It's very important. We talk about getting insurance for car repairs. We talk about getting insurance for appliance repairs in your household. We talk about insurance for fire, and flood, fire and flood, hurricanes, those kinds of things. We talk about car insurance, you know, uh, and we also talk about animal insurance. Those are insurances. And a lot of people says, "Well, I can't afford all those premiums." Well, I tell you, it's a lot cheaper than trying to go out and spend $50,000 defending yourself. You never know. And if you spend maybe $2,000 in all these different insurances, it's going to be worth it. Now, I'm exaggerating. I don't know how much it'd be, but that's for medical, automobile, um, home insurance, renter's insurance, one of the two, and appliance insurance, and car repair insurance and your pet insurance. Those are all nice things. Um, so there's a lot of them that go around. So please look into this. Okay, my phone number's up again. We had a really great call from Cleveland, excuse me, from Ohio, not from Cleveland, but from Ohio. And we have right now OPP, who is from let me see, where are you from? I forgot already. You're from Carson City, Nevada. We have Michael Donnelly um, from St. Louis, Missouri, and so we have Cruella from Ventura County, Oxnard, California. Cruella is called Felicia. That is her real name. And we, of course, had Jennifer on the phone, which was really great. Then we have Mrs. Ramirez, who's the lady of the house. Her name is Kelly, but I don't know where she's from. Ms. Ramirez, you still there? I'd love to hear more about you. We have Miley Serini, who is first time here, has a link here. I can't play the link. I can put it up there, but I can't click that link. So I don't know what it is, but I can't even copy it or paste it. So I don't know. Um, Good point, Michael says. Always have an attorney. Now, I have 8 o'clock, which means my show time is over. I just got. Okay. All right. My running time shows I have 4 minutes left. My show time is over 8 o'clock. So apparently I didn't start my show punctually at 7 o'clock. I got to start doing that. I am going to buy a computer that I don't have this problem with my computer anymore. I'm looking. My budget's $2,000. I'm looking for a gaming computer, a 2025 year production, and it's a made by Asus. It's Republic of Gamers (ROG). It's an 18-inch screen with an i9 14th generation CPU, and it has a Nativity RTX 4090 GPU with 12 gigs of RAM there. Plus, I need overall 64 gigs of RAM and a 2 terabyte hard drive with Windows 11 Pro. It's called the Strike computer, STRIK. Anyway, I'm looking for that computer. If any of you got one out there that could sell me a new one built in 2025, they're all over the place in pricing. I've seen as high as 6,000. I see some at 1,700. When I didn't have the money, I could have bought one back in January. Now with the embargo or the raise of prices, they've doubled in price. They're $4,000, $5,000 for the same thing it was a couple months ago. So I don't have that amount of money. It took me 4 months to save money for that computer. I work for Bangladesh wages, which is very, very limited, and I only work 35 hours a week. But I do work, I do save my money, but it's hard. It really is hard. Now, I want all of you not to give up, to keep fighting for your case, get legal insurance, but also look into, if you want to, register a formal complaint and get help, because you're getting no help. You need to start off with your mayor and then your state representative, your state senator. You need to talk to your governor. You need to talk to the civil rights coordinator at your capital, the ombudsperson. And if that doesn't work, you can go to the government efficiency. It's Department of Government Efficiency. That is called DOGE, DOGE. They have a website, doge.gov. And they also have 2 phone numbers that do work. They're at the White House. Call them. Also email them. If you want them to work on something, email them at doge@mail.house.gov. They will talk to you. So keep that in mind. Now, Jennifer, thank you. I'm glad you came back on there. So I think I pretty much have talked to everybody. Jennifer Aniston from Ohio, OOP. Cruella and Michael, St. Louis, Missouri, Mrs. Ramirez, Marashini. I think I covered everybody. So please come tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. 10 a.m. I'll be on again. I'll help you. Don't give up. Always remember. Now there'll be a short message from my attorney, Vincent W. Davis. Please listen to my end stream. This is Bob Pace telling you good night.
A vivid picture is encrypted in your mind as the critics get in line like they're witnessing a crime. But then you notice there's a shiver in your spine from the feelings of discontentment and bitterness combined. Heartbroken when you listen to the judges. Another kid's innocence corrupted, and if you go against then it's destructive. Consider this predicament the toughest, but we believe in a system fit for justice. Child Protective Services only pretends to save it. The one solution for this is worthy of instant praises. 30 years of experience with relentless cases. Allow me to introduce them. This is Vincent Davis, defending you when they don't think a mother fits the role. Is it juvenile dependency or government control? Observe the pain in their eyes. It's time for us to realize we are the last one.